Chosen one, you passed. It's time to tell you everything. You have been through seasons that others would not have survived. You have carried burdens that were designed to break you. And yet, here you are, standing taller, stronger, and more aligned with your destiny than ever before. Life has tested you in ways you never expected. And each time you were confronted with challenges, you chose faith over fear, courage over surrender, and endurance over defeat. That is why this moment is unlike any other. This is not just another step forward. This is the announcement of your arrival into a divine truth that has been hidden from you until now. You passed the test, and now it is time for everything to be revealed to you. Watch this message until the very end, because the words that will unfold carry energy meant to activate your next level. And as you receive them, let your spirit open to abundance. Write your warmest wishes in the comments, along with the number 99. This is not just a simple action. It is a release of intention, a way of sending your desire into the universe with power. Those words and numbers hold vibration. They do not vanish. They expand. They ripple. They energize the unseen forces working on your behalf. As you declare your wishes, you align with manifestation, and heaven begins to echo your voice. Wishes come true when spoken with conviction, and your wish is now carried by the current of divine timing. You are not only wishing, you are releasing energy that will meet you in the form of answered prayers. Now, chosen one, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. Chosen one, you passed. That phrase alone carries weight because it means you stood when others fell. You kept walking when others gave up. There were countless nights you doubted yourself, when the silence around you made you wonder if your prayers had been heard at all. But through that silence, heaven was watching. Through your tears, the divine was recording your faith. Through your losses, your resilience was marked. Every step you took was a demonstration, not just to the world, but to yourself, that your spirit could not be broken. Now, having passed through trials, you stand at the edge of revelation, and it is here that everything will be told to you. Truths about who you are, why you endured what you did, and what is waiting for you next. There were moments when you thought the pain was a punishment, but it was never punishment. It was preparation. The loneliness was not rejection. It was a clearing away of distractions so you could hear the higher calling. The closed doors were not denials. They were protections guiding you toward the door that truly mattered. You didn't fail. You were being prepared. And now that the season of testing is complete, heaven has declared you passed. And passing means you are ready. Ready to know the fullness of your assignment. Ready to carry the wealth of wisdom that will not only bless you, but impact generations after you. Ready to step into abundance without fear of losing yourself. Ready to hold power without being consumed by it. Ready to stand in visibility without crumbling under the weight of others' opinions. Chosen one, it's time to tell you everything. It's time to uncover the truth about the delays you faced. Those delays were not denials. They were recalibrations, moments where divine timing had to align with your growth. Had the blessing come earlier, it might have overwhelmed you. Had the opportunity opened sooner, it might have led you down a path you were not yet prepared for. The wait was not wasted time. It was sacred alignment. And now, as everything falls into place, you will look back and realize that every unanswered prayer was simply a redirection towards something greater. What you thought was loss was actually the setup for gain. What you thought was the end was only the beginning. You may have wondered why certain relationships ended, why people you trusted disappeared, or why doors you desperately wanted to walk through remained shut. The truth is, not everyone could walk with you into this revelation. Not everyone could handle the weight of what you were about to receive. You were pruned, refined, and separated so that when this moment came, you would not have to share your divine inheritance with those who would not honor it. You passed the test of loyalty not to people, but to your higher calling. You proved that you would not compromise your soul for temporary comfort. That is why the universe, God, and all of creation now align to open the vault of truth and abundance in your favor. The battles you fought were not random. They were purposeful. They were designed to train your spirit, sharpen your discernment, and awaken your gifts. You are not the same as you were when this journey began. Look at yourself now. You are wiser, stronger, more grounded, more. You have seen betrayal, and yet your heart still believes in love. You have tasted disappointment, yet your spirit still carries hope. You have been broken, but you did not stay shattered. You rebuilt yourself into something even greater. That resilience is proof of why you passed. You endured without becoming bitter. You learned without losing your essence. You bent, but did not break. And because of this, it's time to tell you everything. Everything begins with this truth. You are chosen not just to survive, but to transform. You were never meant to live a life of mediocrity. You were never designed to simply exist. You were created to shine, to influence, to leave a legacy that others cannot ignore. Your trials were the training ground for your authority. Every hardship was shaping the leader within you. Every setback was pulling out of you the wisdom that cannot be learned in books or classrooms, but only through lived experience. Now you are ready to hold the mantle of responsibility, wealth, and purpose that is uniquely yours. It's time to tell you that the abundance you once thought was impossible is already written in your story. It's time to tell you that the wealth you feared you might never touch is already allocated to your name. It's time to tell you that the dreams you buried under the weight of doubt are about to breathe again. It's time to tell you that the universe has been conspiring in silence, aligning people, opportunities, and resources to meet you at this moment. You passed, and passing means access. Access to doors that were once closed, access to truths that were once hidden, access to blessings that were once delayed, access to the fullness of your destiny. Chosen one, now that you've passed, nothing will remain hidden from you. The veil has been lifted. The illusions that kept you bound are dissolving. You will begin to see clearly why things happened, why you were chosen, why your journey took the turns it did. What was once confusing will now make sense. What was once painful will now reveal its purpose. What was once dark will now be illuminated with light. You are stepping into a season where clarity reigns, where your questions will find answers and where your heart will finally understand the greatness that has always been inside you. Chosen one, you passed, and now the universe begins to whisper truths that were once withheld from you. For so long, there were pieces of the story missing, parts of your destiny that seemed cloaked in mystery. You often wondered why life seemed so much heavier for you than for others, why you had to walk roads that no one else around you could understand. The truth is, you were being sculpted into something rare. Rare things are never produced in ordinary conditions. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Gold is refined by fire. And so it was with you. The conditions of your life were not unfair punishments. They were the sacred elements required to bring out the brilliance inside of you. That brilliance is now undeniable. You passed because you did not run from the process even when you wanted to. You stayed when it was easier to quit. You kept faith alive when it would have been simpler to abandon it. And now everything hidden will be told to you because you've proven you are ready to receive. You will begin to notice that the answers you once searched for are no longer distant. They are arriving daily in signs, in synchronicities, in moments that feel too precise to be coincidence. Every strange detour, every heartbreak, every loss carried a hidden clue that you couldn't recognize back then. But now your eyes are open, your discernment is sharpened, and your spirit is tuned to the frequency of truth. You will see why you had to leave certain places behind. You will understand why those doors slammed shut, even though, at the time, you begged for them to remain open. You will realize why certain people exited your life in dramatic ways. They were never meant to carry the next chapters with you. It will all come together like pieces of a puzzle. And the image that forms will be one of power, destiny, and divine orchestration. The truth is, your entire life has been a series of divine tests, not to break you, but to reveal you. Think about how many times you were placed in situations where you had to choose integrity over shortcuts, patience over desperation, faith over fear. Each choice was an exam, a measure of your character, a sign of whether you could carry the weight of your assignment. And now, because you consistently chose higher, even when no one was watching, you have passed. Passing means you have graduated from one dimension of life to another. The lessons have been absorbed, and now you are entrusted with the rewards. You are no longer a student of pain. You are a master of resilience. You are no longer a wanderer searching for answers. You are a carrier of wisdom. This is why the moment has arrived for you to hear the full truth. It could not be told to you before because you were not yet ready to carry it. Everything that was hidden from you was hidden for your protection. The truth is powerful, and power requires preparation. If you had been told everything too soon, you may have crumbled under the weight of it, or mishandled it out of fear, or shared it with those who would have used it against you. But now, after all you've endured, you are strong enough, wise enough, and aligned enough to receive it without distortion. What is being revealed is not just about your past, but about your future. The truth will empower you to walk boldly into the season that has been waiting for you all along. No longer will you doubt yourself. No longer will you underestimate your value. No longer will you play small to fit into spaces that cannot contain you. The truth is, you were chosen for greatness. And everything that happened up until now was simply the path to get you here. Chosen one. Now that you've passed, it is time to understand why certain storms came your way. You were not unlucky. You were chosen to be refined. You were not cursed. You were being strengthened. The storms were not there to drown you. They were there to train you to walk on water. The difficulties you faced sharpened your vision, expanded your heart, and taught you how to survive in situations that would have destroyed others. These storms gave you wisdom that cannot be bought with money and cannot be taught in schools. They gave you the ability to see through deception, to recognize true value, and to carry empathy for others in ways that make you a rare soul in this world. And because you passed the storm, you will now walk in calmness. Because you passed the fire, you will now shine with brilliance. Because you passed the test, you will now be trusted with treasures. It is time to tell you that the dreams you thought were too big are not only possible, they are part of your destiny. The visions that seemed like fantasies were glimpses of the life that was always waiting for you, once you passed through the trials. Those ideas, those desires, those yearnings deep in your heart are not random. They are divine hints planted in your soul. They are blueprints of the future calling you forward. And now that you have passed, you are about to see those dreams unfold in front of you, not as distant possibilities, but as living realities. The universe withheld certain blessings until you were proven ready. But now those blessings are released. Doors that were once sealed shut are swinging open. Opportunities that were once delayed are suddenly arriving. People who are aligned with your calling are stepping into your life. Resources that once seemed scarce are now flowing with abundance. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. You passed, and therefore you are qualified to receive. Chosen one, the revelation is this. You are stepping into a season where you will no longer question if you belong, if you are enough, or if you are worthy. All of that has been settled. You passed. And passing means approval. Approval from heaven. Approval from destiny. Approval from the divine plan that was written for you long before you took your first breath. You no longer need validation from people who couldn't see your worth. You no longer need to chase acceptance in places that never understood you. You no longer need to explain yourself to those who are blind to your light. The truth is, you are more than enough. And everything you've gone through was proof of that. And now, with the truth revealed, you can finally step forward without hesitation, without doubt, without apology. You are chosen, you are ready, and you have passed. Chosen one. Now that you've passed, it is time to face a new reality. One where you are no longer hidden, no longer overlooked, and no longer silenced by the weight of struggle. For years, your brilliance was concealed beneath trials, your power muted by circumstances, your gifts buried under responsibility and survival. But what was hidden is now being revealed, and what was muted is now amplifying. The reason is simple. You passed the season of proving. You passed the season of testing. You passed the season where the universe asked, will you remain true to who you are even when it costs you everything? And your life answered, yes. Your actions proved your loyalty to your higher purpose. That is why you now step into a life where truths long withheld are revealed to you in waves, as if the universe itself is eager to show you what has been waiting for you. It's time to tell you that your voice will carry further than you ever imagined. You endured years of silence when your words seemed to fall on deaf ears, when your ideas were dismissed, when your wisdom was ignored, but those were only rehearsals. The silence was not a rejection. It was the echo of a stage being prepared for you. You passed by, choosing to keep speaking, keep writing, keep believing in your gift, even when no one seemed to notice. That resilience ensured that when your voice finally breaks through, it will not be shallow chatter. It will be words that carry weight, words that move hearts, words that change atmospheres. Now, because you passed, your voice will not only be heard, but it will be honoured. People will stop to listen. Crowds will gather to learn. The world will seek the very wisdom that once was overlooked because the time of unveiling has arrived. Chosen one, it is also time to tell you about the wealth that follows those who pass their divine tests. Wealth is not just material, it is spiritual, emotional, intellectual. But because you remained steadfast, you will see all dimensions of wealth aligning in your life. Financial opportunities will begin to multiply in ways that defy logic. Ideas that once seemed small will expand into businesses, movements, and streams of abundance. The same hands that once carried lack will now carry overflow. The same life that once knew debt will now know freedom. and the same soul that once worried about survival will now live in security and peace. You passed the test of lack, and now you are prepared to steward wealth without being consumed by it. Money will serve you, not control you. Resources will flow to you, not escape from you. Influence will grow through you, not corrupt you. That is the truth waiting to be revealed. You are not just a survivor of lack. You are an inheritor of abundance. It's time to tell you why you carried such heavy burdens in silence. There were years when you asked, "Why me? Why must I go through this? Why do I feel the weight that others do not?" The answer is because your shoulders were chosen to bear it. You were built differently, wired differently, strengthened differently. The burdens were not given to you to crush you. They were given to you to carve out a greater capacity in you. And now, having passed the weight, your spirit has expanded. You can carry visions larger than what most can dream of. You can hold responsibilities that others would run from. You can navigate challenges with clarity that only comes from experience. Those burdens built you into a vessel strong enough to contain the vast destiny awaiting you. The truth is, you were never cursed with heaviness. You were trusted with it. And because you did not crumble, it is time to tell you everything that was hidden from your understanding. You are far stronger than you realize, and the world will soon see it too. There is another truth that must be told. You were protected from yourself more than once. There were seasons where your desperation could have led you into situations that would have destroyed you. Times when you nearly settled for less. When you nearly accepted love that was not worthy of you. When you nearly took paths that would have compromised your future. But heaven intervened. Delays appeared. People vanished. Opportunities collapsed. All of it felt like disappointment at the time, but it was actually divine protection because you passed. Those decisions that could have ruined you never came to pass. The truth is, rejection was your rescue. Denial was your shield. Delay was your redirection. Now, when you look back, you will see that the very things you cried over were the same things that saved you. And that realization will give you peace, knowing that nothing was wasted, nothing was random, and nothing was ever truly lost. Every loss was an exchange for something greater. Chosen one, it's time to tell you about your influence. You may not see yourself as someone with reach, but your energy, your words, your presence already shift environments. Strangers have been inspired by you without you even knowing. People have drawn strength from your resilience, though they never told you. Your existence alone has been a living message that says, it's possible to endure and still rise. But now that you've passed, your influence will no longer remain in the shadows. The world will witness it. Platforms will open to you. Doors will swing wide. Your name will travel farther than you thought possible. What was once a small circle of impact will now widen until it touches places and people you could never have reached on your own. This is the truth that was hidden, waiting for you to be strong enough to handle recognition without losing your humility. And now that time has come, the revelation continues with this. You are about to walk in a season of clarity so sharp that confusion will no longer hold power over you. The fog that once clouded your mind is lifting. The questions that once haunted you are being answered. The uncertainty that once tormented you is dissolving. You will know what decisions to make. You will know who is meant to stay in your life and who is meant to go. You will know which opportunities are real and which are distractions. You will know when to act and when to wait. This clarity is not a small gift. It is the unfolding of everything. With clarity comes confidence, and with confidence comes speed. You will move faster toward your destiny than you ever thought possible because you will no longer hesitate. This is the truth that has been unlocked now that you've passed. You will walk in certainty, not doubt, in direction, not confusion, in alignment, not chaos. Chosen one, now that you've passed, it is time to uncover the depth of why you were hidden for so long. You spent years watching others receive opportunities. While doors for you remained mysteriously closed, you often questioned why your talents, your vision, your heart were not seen or recognized when you knew deep within that you had something extraordinary to give. The truth is, you were not ignored. You were concealed by divine design, protected from premature exposure, shielded until you were ready. Visibility without preparation can destroy a person. But now, because you have passed through seasons of refining, you can be trusted with the spotlight. And this spotlight is not for vanity. It is for impact. Your name will be spoken in places you have never been. Your face will be remembered by people you've never met. Your influence will extend beyond borders because the time of hiding is over. You passed, and the veil that once kept you unseen is now being lifted. It's time to tell you about the acceleration that follows those who have passed. For years, you may have felt like your life moved slowly, like progress came at a crawling pace, while others seemed to race ahead. That was never because you were behind. It was because your journey required depth over speed. You were not just being built for moments. You were being built for longevity, for legacy. Now that you have passed, what once took years will happen in months. What once took months will happen in weeks. What once seemed impossible will unfold effortlessly. The tests slowed you down to prepare you, but now the passing of those tests releases acceleration. You will see doors open back to back. You will witness breakthroughs arrive one after another. The flow of blessings will be so swift that it will feel surreal. But you will know it is not luck. It is the confirmation of your readiness. Speed without wisdom is reckless. But now you carry wisdom. So speed will only serve you. Chosen one. You passed. And that means your enemies have no more power over you. There were people who tried to stop you, who spoke against you, who hoped you would fail. They saw your potential long before you even fully recognized it. And their fear of your rise made them attempt to block your path. But here's the truth. They could not stop what was divinely assigned to you. Every scheme failed. Every trap collapsed. Every curse reversed. You passed because you did not let their actions make you bitter or vengeful. Instead, you stayed true to your journey, even when they tried to derail you. That is why the truth can now be revealed. They were never your competition. They were simply instruments used to sharpen you. Their attacks only made you stronger. Their rejection only pushed you deeper into alignment. Now you walk in victory, and those who tried to hold you back will have no choice but to watch as you ascend. The truth is undeniable. You passed, and nothing can block what's coming next. Another truth that must now be told is about your inner power. For too long, you doubted yourself, questioning whether you were capable, worthy, or strong enough. You compared yourself to others, not realizing that your journey was incomparable. The reason your road was different was because your destiny is different. Ordinary paths cannot produce extraordinary results. You passed because you stopped fighting against who you are and began embracing it. And now that you've embraced your uniqueness, you will discover powers within yourself that you did not know existed. Intuition sharper than ever before. creativity overflowing like a river, courage rising naturally in situations where you once felt fear, influence radiating from you in ways that cannot be explained logically. These are not new gifts. They were always within you, but they could only be unlocked once you passed. Now, the truth is that you are far more powerful than you imagined, and the world will see that power manifest in everything you do. It's time to tell you why relationships felt so difficult for you in the past. You may have felt misunderstood, unloved, or unsupported. You may have experienced betrayal from those you trusted, abandonment from those you gave your heart to, or indifference from those you sacrificed for. These wounds were not accidents. They were part of the test. They taught you how to love yourself deeply, how to stand alone without collapsing, how to recognize the difference between true loyalty and empty promises. You passed the test of self-worth. You proved that you would not allow others to define you. And now, the truth is this: genuine love, true connection, and loyal companionship are being aligned with your life. The pain you endured was preparing you to recognize real love when it arrives. The loneliness was teaching you to never settle for less than what you deserve. Now, because you've passed, you will no longer be surrounded by those who drain you. You will be surrounded by those who honor, uplift, and cherish you. Chosen one. Another truth must be revealed. You are stepping into a season of restoration. Everything you lost is returning, but not in the same form. It is returning, multiplied, elevated, transformed. The time you thought was wasted will now be redeemed with rapid progress. The finances you lost will be replaced with abundance. The opportunities that slipped through your fingers will be overshadowed by opportunities far greater than you once imagined. The relationships that broke your heart will be replaced by connections that heal and uplift you. Restoration is not about returning to what once was. It's about receiving better than what you lost. And because you passed, restoration is not just a possibility. It is a guarantee. The universe owes you nothing, but destiny owes you everything. The tests you endured accumulated a debt of blessings that must now be repaid. And repayment is coming swiftly. It's also time to tell you about your authority. Passing the tests has given you a spiritual authority that cannot be bought or taught. You now walk with a presence that commands respect, not through force, but through authenticity. Your experiences have given you wisdom that others will seek out. Your endurance has given you credibility that no one can question. Your scars have become your crown. And with this authority, you will influence not just individuals, but entire communities. People will look to you as a leader, even if you do not seek the role. Your life itself will be the message. You passed, and now your authority will be evident wherever you go. Chosen one, now that you've passed, you must understand something deeper. Your journey was never just about you. While you were enduring your tests, it may have felt like you were carrying burdens alone. But the truth is, you were carrying more than your own destiny. You were carrying the breaking of generational cycles. The struggles you faced were not isolated. They were echoes of patterns that ran through your family line for years, even centuries. Cycles of lack, cycles of fear, cycles of silence, cycles of limitation. You were chosen as the one who would face them, confront them, and end them. That is why your tests were so severe. Because you were not only fighting for your own breakthrough. You were fighting for every person connected to you, past and future. You passed, and that means those chains are broken. The weight that once pressed down on your bloodline has been lifted. The curse that once repeated itself, generation after generation, ends with you. You are the proof that transformation is possible. and your victory will echo into the lives of those who come after you. It is time to tell you that your rise will not just be personal, it will be generational. The wisdom you have gained will be passed down as guidance for those who follow. The abundance you are stepping into will become inheritance. Not just for you, but for your children, for those you mentor, for the lives you impact. You were the bridge between what was and what will be. You crossed from lack into wealth, from silence into influence, from survival into legacy. And now, because you passed, you will no longer look at your family story as one of struggle. You will see it as a foundation for greatness. What once seemed like a curse will now be remembered as the soil that birthed resilience. And you will know that your endurance was never in vain. The truth is that the universe chose you as the turning point. And now, everything after you will be different. Another truth must be revealed. Your name is being written in rooms you have not entered yet. Because you passed, your reputation is no longer confined to the circles that once limited you. People are speaking of you in places of influence, describing your character, your resilience, your wisdom. Opportunities are aligning because your essence precedes you. What you represent is too powerful to be ignored any longer. And soon, doors will open not because you begged for them, but because others insist you belong inside. You passed, and now recognition follows naturally. You no longer need to force your way into spaces. The right spaces are being carved out for you,